Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Dr. Lori Monica. Oh, I threw the doctor in today. That's just, I'm used to that from Clubhouse. But anyway, welcome everyone to Viva. Yay. It's July. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh no, we started July last week. For our Thursday show, right?
No,
July 1st?
4, 3, 2,
Oh no, it
1.
was the 30th.
Yeah.
So our first show in
the
July.
last day.
So welcome. And you? Who are you, fabulous?
Well, hello. Buenos días, mi gente. Aquí con la Margarita. Hola, Milagros. Buenos días. Happy July 5th. It is already today. Beautiful beginning to the new week. I am Margarita de Margarita. And I'm so happy to be here today. Cutting it short. Good morning, Iritza.
Boy, even your service over there is like messed up. You keep freezing.
It's my niece's modem too. I'm telling you. This doesn't have to do with our homes. It's so much bigger than that. We have like 3 purple lights on our street. And our street ain't but so big.
Purple lights. What does a purple light stand for?
They haven't gotten to Connecticut yet, but there was purple lights going up in neighborhoods, and then the Tico or whatever said that they ordered defective light bulbs for the street lights, the street lamps, but they have been across Texas, South Carolina. You can't have ordered that many defective light bulbs. So there are these eerie purple lights, like, you know, when you put a purple light to a black wall?
Yeah.
That's what they seem like. Like if you really stand under it, they're gonna be able to detect certain things about you. So it's kind of weird. But ever since then, we'll call. My niece has called. They said there's no problems on their end. Mine, I was over an hour and a half yesterday trying to solve it. Finally, somebody got to come today and change all my equipment.
And as expensive as we pay for all the service, to me, it's just, they keep boasting about how they've upgraded, they have all these things, and yet the service gets worse and worse. And even the cell service is not much better, because I've been away somewhere and you see towers, you see them everywhere. And then why can't I have like connections, Granted, I know not all the towers are for like all the places, but this is, I don't know, it's just bizarre. We have more availability for connections than we ever had before, and now we have this really wonky service. Now, granted, they could say, well, there's more people that are utilizing it than ever before, but you've been upgrading. So one of these days we need to have a total show, 2 days, Tuesday, Thursday for the week, just on conspiracy theories.
Well, I think it's fact. I think with all these AI and all these technologies and these robots and all these things, why are we like scaling backwards? So it's something to go about. But within that wondering, we must keep what? Because it is in that craziness of oh my God, that we start losing our peace, we start losing our calm, we start. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not a fanatical one. I think like with anything, with religion, with government, there's a point where you look at things, you observe them, you match them up to last year, to what's going on. But when you become a fanatic, that's when you start losing touch with who the hell you are, right?
Yeah, I'm not there either, but there are things that are so questionable, and the idea that the idea that we can 100% trust anyone and anything is ridiculous. That's a conspiracy, like, so to me. So for me to, we've known that it's been in history where governments have not always been forthcoming. They've been doing things, on the sly. So it's like, I think certain ones are not crazy, but it's, you have to take with it. It's, well, okay, so today, not that we're going to get in that conversation, but today's conversation is about what brings you peace. Had to cheat and look. And it's saying, because even with this conversation, right, you talk to somebody and then somebody throws out this really like bizarre type of theory that makes you feel uncomfortable. And how do we keep the peace at a time when we are at a point in our lives where there's just so much craziness? We talked about, what was it, the uncertainty of things, right? Just back in 2020, but I think we have less certainty now than we did in 2020. So what the description of today's show is, it's time to talk peace again. Can't talk about it enough. Are you living in peace? If not, why not? Are you looking to others to give yourself peace? Time to be accountable, honor your spirit, and create your own peace. What type of thread are we created from? And what is the strength of your tapestry? Yes, we're going to talk about peace, but get ready for a deep and maybe even uncomfortable conversation, because this is not just about, we're going to sit there and go, oh, what is peace? What brings you peace? We have to talk about why, what gets in the way, what we need to be accountable to, and what it all means.
What it means. And sometimes people become like meditating. Let me just put that in because we didn't write that in. But there's an extreme to everything, and everything is not bad for you as long as you don't do it in extremes. You don't eat too much, don't drink too much, don't exercise too much, don't search for peace too much, because all you will find is chaos. I think you
That's profound.
need to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself to want to receive something, to want to learn something. And when you have that taste for that tiramisu, and someone brings you a big piece, then you should cut a piece and save the other part, right? Because while you're conversing, watching TV, doing something, you're going to keep picking at it until you're sick. Well, when we seek to meditate, we sit there longer than we should, and we start sitting there and we're forcing it on ourselves. We're like, oh, then we start bullying ourselves because we can't clear the mind. And I had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday, and it's like you must breathe and just have this knowing within you that you want to seek something, but you're also going to allow it to flow naturally. When we do it the opposite way, we're not going to find that peace. We're not going to learn how to meditate. We're going to never lose that extra weight. It's extremes, and then there's let it be. Being peaceful means that you set your mind that you are not going to allow this and that, but you're still going to navigate through life. And when it does come up to you, you're not going to freak out. You're not going to stomp on it. You're going to say, namaste. It was nice meeting you, or it was good seeing you again. I must leave. And then you bid your adieu. But the more you force anything, the less attractive it becomes.
That was peaceful just thinking about it. So we're going to talk about peace today. So let's start first with today's Tuesday. So you have to talk about your coffee. Let's start off with setting our intention. Then we'll do our mantra. Then Gladiator Guru will talk coffee. And then we'll get started, because it's all connected anyway. Because what brings you peace? A nice, easy morning with a cup of coffee. That definitely brings me peace. So, all right, let's set the intention. As always on Viva Cafe con Leche, our intention today is always to be intentional and
Grateful.
So set your intention today for whatever way you want to set it. Maybe your intention today is to be at peace within if you've been feeling a certain sort of way. So maybe that is your intention for today. And always go with gratitude. And now let's do the mantra. So here we go with the mantra. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm going to wait because I love when Gladiator Guru follows with her little things. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I like your sparklies, by the way, on your arm. You know, a little glitter. You got a
The
little
what?
glitter patch. You have a little glitter
Oh,
patch.
it's a half a moon facing the stars. Yeah.
Nice. All right, here we go. Here comes that mantra. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real.
There we go. Breathe it all in and get ready to talk about what brings you peace. I wore my peace hat on purpose with my Viva shirt. So we came up, we were talking yesterday, and boy, Gladiator Guru was just on a roll. That shit was just flying right out of her mouth. It was like, and the funny part, we talked about that we really need to record when we do these prep sessions, because unless we're both writing stuff down, we don't even remember what the hell we talked about. So, when I tell you she was on a roll, like there was just some mystical stuff coming out of her yesterday. So she was definitely in alignment with the divine and the ground and the spirit. So, let's just get started. You want to start and talk about what you were.
Well, I think that's thank you for bringing that up, because yesterday with the chaos of my internet, and I had last minute things to do, to get ready for after this show, and I had to bombard my niece's house. And you know what? It's about not losing control over something you cannot control. That's also peace. If you're gonna stress over something that you know you have no control over, then what are you doing to yourself? You're the biggest bully in your life. So people get stressed out. I've seen people like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. The internet's down. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do it. Now there was one point where I came here to print and I couldn't print from mine, but my niece calmly said, well, let me try it with mine. And we got it done. Why? Because if it's out of your control, step back, breathe, and say, okay, if this doesn't happen, what can I do in place? That's all you can do while working on whatever the issue is, if it's worth your time. In my point, yeah, because I had a print. But it came to a decision whether I wanted to do it in color or it had to be black and white. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let it be black and white, because it's just a hint of color on my regular logo anyway. And I can deal with that now. And if anybody knows me, they know I like to pop up like slut magic. So on this order, it's not going to be color. It's going to be that little cozy gray. How's that? And that's how we do it. And that's what it's about. And that's what it's all about. How you are controlling your emotions and therefore how you handle things. Ija.
That's why I got up. I didn't control my emotions very well. When you saw me get up before, I got up to go yell at the damn birds eating my blueberries off my blueberry bush.
You can't control it. You don't have
well, I can if I put netting on there, but I've been slack on getting the netting. So you're right, because for it to aggravate me now, this was going on a week ago. I could have put those nettings up. So now I have ordered my nettings a week behind, and it's going to not get here till I think Thursday or Saturday. So by the time it gets here, I'll probably have no blueberries left.
Well, good. You know? They weren't meant for you. They were meant to feed those birds who probably have to go and feed their little birdies in the nest. You see, everything is cause and effect. And if we think of it that way, why didn't you order the nettings last week when you're always trying to be in order of everything you need to do? You've been working outside for how long now? But you didn't order it because you wasn't supposed to order it. everything falls into the place it's supposed to be. Now, when things are falling into place, right? This is finding your peace too. When things are knocking on your door, when they're showing up in that devil mask, pay attention, because your unhappiness is due to your failure to recognize the warnings that were coming to you.
That is
If you
absolutely correct.
Yes. So if you're miserable right now and you don't understand and you keep trying and nothing works, then the universe, then God is telling you, why the hell are you continuing to try to fix something that I am telling you it's unfixable? You didn't order the netting on time. You can't go out there and yell at those birds and be mad at them. They're doing what
I
Mother Nature
could,
said how to
but
do.
that
No.
doesn't bring me peace. I
But
could,
you
but it doesn't bring me
can, but why? They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You are doing exactly what you were supposed to do. You didn't order the netting. Why? Because they have to feed on those blueberries. Blueberries will grow again before the summer's out. And that's when you breathe and chill. And that's what peace is. Look at it from every corner. You know, growing up in spirituality, they always say when everything opens up for you, they said that your ancestors have blessed and unlocked the four corners of your life. When things keep happening and you're falling on your face, but you're still trying, then the spirituality says you have to think positive. You have to take more cold baths. You have to pray and meditate more because the four corners in your life are closed. Well, finding peace means that those are revolving doors, because not everything in life is going to make us happy. Not everything in life is meant to bring us peace. And it's not about what comes to us, it's how we handle it. That's
That's
where the peace
absolutely right.
lays.
That's
It's not
absolutely
about this person was bad to me. It's how you handle that negative, narcissistic, evil person. Because it's half the time we're going to go into something and maybe halfway through, but it's about that. Now let's talk about coffee. Coffee. First, I want to send out an apology to everybody. Why my back order? I'm finally in my home this week. So today, all the coffee orders goes out of the people who ordered. I don't know if they're on, but I'm just saying a public announcement. And there will be in your box, there will be extra little gifts that I'm giving from the heart, which makes me excited that I can give you extra little gifts. It because you deserve it for being patient. And Naturally Orgasmic Cafe Company, you know, we're a revolution of awareness, and my awareness was really, really spiked because of the delay and everything. And so you'll be getting your little package with a little extra love from Naturally Orgasmic. And today I am drinking my Ethiopian blend, and I had to rush across the street, which I probably woke up my niece because I don't have an inside voice, to log in because of my internet. And I'm rushing, and then I made my coffee a bit too light. And those who know me know I don't drink coffee this light, but it is my Ethiopian blend, which is it has like chocolate notes in it. I didn't realize it until now. But what is coffee? What is my favorite time? My favorite season is the rainy season. You know, I love when it rains. I love when it thunders. I love to see the lightning. Call me weird. When it rains and it thunders here in Florida, everybody runs indoors. I'm always coming outside. I just love the feel of it. It's like that warm blanket on a cold winter's night. It is a parent's hug. It is a lover's, it's okay, we're going to make it through. That's what a rainy day does for me with my coffee. So in my magicalness, brewing a fresh cup of café con leche during a rainstorm, allowing the thunder to calm me and the lightning to illuminate into the dark spaces of my body. Peace and love of self. That's what my café con leche message is for you today. Figure out what it is that brings you peace in nature. And every time it occurs, or every time you get a chance, go there. Be present in that moment. So what if you just got your hair done and it's raining? You're gonna walk out, get wet. You know, those are the things that we put too much effort in, and it dispels our peace little by little because we're too anal. Vale.
I think she was directing that specifically to me.
No, once we're too anal, and then we get mad at everything, and then we get mad at the person who's not anal, who'll be like, "Oh my god, it's raining! I just got my hair done, but fuck it," and runs out into the street and starts trolling and laughing up at the clouds. And then you get mad at people like that and call them stupid and careless and irresponsible because they're out in the street dancing. But don't hate, because that's your true feeling. That's what's really going on with you. It's not that I'm out in the street dancing, getting wet with my arms wide open, laughing. It's because you hold yourself back from doing that.
And
So,
that right there is a prime example of lack of peace. See, that's a great example actually, because if you're out somewhere and you find that somebody who's just behaving so naturally and without regard, not without regard, that's something that's dangerous.
now,
But,
naturally,
but
without regard, that's exactly
but
without regard of what the fuck you're gonna say.
but like think about this. Think about this in your lifetime when you've seen somebody doing something that you wouldn't do. Like that. Like they're walking, it's downpouring and everybody has umbrellas and they're walking carelessly, they don't care and they're happy and the rain is down. And have you been the one, or have you been around people who've said, "Oh god, look at that idiot just walking around with no umbrella, they don't care at all. What the hell's wrong with them?" Think about that, how that felt if you said it, or listening to somebody say that. That's not peace. That is this bleh, like anger, dark. Why does it come out? Why do we even need to make that statement? What does it matter if that person is doing that? How does it affect us? It doesn't affect us, you know? In fact, what we're doing is we're imposing who we are upon that individual and not
That's
allowing
right.
that person to be who they are. And the funniest part is, in the end, when they walk away and you walk away, who's more at peace? They are, because they are living their truth. They are being who they are, and they don't care at that moment in time what's going on. And you know who does that a lot are children. Like children just are there. They are just who they are, especially when they're young. And then we impose ourselves upon them and disrupt their peace
Mm-hmm.
because we have a certain way. Don't behave that way. Why are you doing that? And we have to check ourselves. We have to stop and say, okay, do I really feel at peace? And if I don't, and when we don't, we tend to want to disrupt everybody else's peace around us because we are so unhappy because we don't have peace.
Because you're insecure. You're insecure and a
It's
bully.
insecure and just angry. Or sometimes it's
Yeah.
not insecure. Sometimes it's just you're like, my life is not going the way I want it. So if I can't be at peace, nobody else around me can be at peace.
Well, I
And
find that
especially,
insecurity is because you're so insecure that you can do anything about your position in your life, that instead of working on it, doing the work on yourself because you don't believe you can or you deserve it, you criticize other people. And that doesn't bring you peace at all. Because when you see me dancing under a full moon in the middle of my block with no shoes, talk all you want, but I'm the one that's going to be enlightened. That is orgasmic, to do exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, and look to your side and see 5 or 6 spectators looking at you, down at you, and you still say, "Whew, I got one more hook on this song to dance," and you dance it. And that's what it's about. It's
yep,
about, what are you doing? When you're searching for peace, you is the operative word. I need peace in my life. That's the operative word, I. Because when you step out, after you surrender to the fact that you no longer want to be twisted up like a salty pretzel, and you surrender, I want to seek peace. I need to seek peace. And you set out to do it, trust that it's like the moment you decide you're going to change your eating habits, your lifestyle, you're going to go on a diet, whatever word you choose to do, and you make that decision and you're full thing on it, and then you sit down or you go into a room, this is delicious Big Mac commercial. Because I don't care what anybody, I don't eat McDonald's, but that Big Mac in my childhood was the most delicious thing ever. But so that's
crazy.
what it's
And when
going to
I was
do.
my last pregnancy, I craved them. That's what I couldn't believe it. I was so mad at myself.
But they're delicious. They used to be delicious. But what I'm saying is, the minute you make that assertion into your life, you are going to step out, and the first thing you're going to run into is chaos, is confusion, and that's where your self-tests begin. The minute you proclaim and that you surrender to the fact that this is indeed what I need peace. Guess what? A shitstorm's coming your way. Now we're going to test your resolve. Many
Yes.
don't pass it because they're lazy, or they haven't built that self-trust leading to self-love, and they give up on themselves, and then they sit on their throne of shit and judge and point fingers to everybody. So we're going to avoid that, and we're going to go into some questions.
Desiree's here this morning. Good morning, Ruthie. Good morning.
Look, Ruthie, call me because I want to see if we can meet halfway some today or tomorrow.
So, Desiree, we haven't seen you in so long. So, you know what? We have, what did you leave off on? You were, I know. So when we get into that level of disconnect from our peace, and then there's a shitstorm around us, then what we end up doing is we end up trying to go outside of ourselves to reground ourselves. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're trying to reground ourselves. We go outside and we start looking for other people to provide us with that peace that we seek, because we start floundering around or flopping like a fish out of water, right? And the irony is that the peace has to come from within you. You could use outside sources to learn and decide how you want to seek your peace, but it has to come from within. So if you are overwhelmed by the shit that's happening outside of us right now, I mean, the world is just this is probably in history, I don't think I've ever seen anything like what's going on right now between the US and the rest of the world, right? So we could easily get overwhelmed, and we are seeing that. We're seeing very awful behavior from people yelling at each other, being violent towards each other. And how does one keep peace within themselves during such a time? And that's the key, within yourself. It's not that you're going to tune out and just sit on top of a hill and just cut out the whole world. You have to go within yourself, and you have to decide what brings you peace. What is your spirit saying to you? And seek the information without judgment. Like, we were talking about this, for instance, yesterday, and Gladiator Guru and I have found that people have been reaching out to us with their own expectations, of like wanting to talk to us, and then if we don't get back to them quick enough, they get pissed off, or they're looking to us to ask us questions or connect with them. And then we do. And then there's this, like, it's not an easy conversation. And so we were talking about this yesterday, saying, what does that do for our peace? Like, we have to be able to be very grounded ourselves in order to have conversations with people that are in a state of panic because they have not figured out how to stay still and ground themselves in their peace. So we have to be accountable to ourselves. In other words, what Gladiator Guru and I do as coaches, but not just as coaches, as just people, this is how we live our lives, that when we speak to somebody that what was the thing you said? You said it yesterday. You want to leave it better than, what did you write?
We must leave the space better than we found it, or make a quiet exit.
Yes.
You have the power to have your choice. And no one can piss you off unless you grant them permission. And that's what this is about. We are spirits borrowing a human suit. This is a spiritual warfare, but you want to attack person on person, and we can get into that. But the thing is, I can come up and start going off and doing this and that, and then you're going to get upset and start slamming things. I didn't make you do that. people, and I think I've said this, I know I've said this a couple shows ago, people want to blame their environment. Yes, it plays a part, but it's up to you to fall into it. People, places, and things are not the reason you are where you are right now. It's how you've taken that in. I can say that. I know many people can say that. It doesn't make me better than them. It doesn't make you weaker than me. What it is the insight that you must carry with you. I'm very proud to say that I had profound insight at the age of 6. It's not a bragging point. It is a point to say we all can master it. Unfortunately, mine came at a most horrific time for a 6-year-old. So I don't encourage that. Like, I hope no 6-year-old has to go through certain things in order to develop such an instinct. But we must take accountability for ourselves. That person pissed us off. It pisses us off. It hurt our feelings. It wounded our hearts, because it does happen. But how long you stay there is totally your fault.
Yes.
Or your choice. You cannot blame the same person 20 years later for causing you hurt 20 years ago. That is you disrupting your peace from entering your soul. It's that simple. The atrocities that happened in the past happened. I will get triggered. I will have a memory. Something will be said. I can see somebody that resembles the person, and I'm like, quick flash, and then I'm like, ooh, fuck that. You can't stay here. My rooms, there's no vacancy. Because how I found my peace is how I maneuvered through life. Now, in my attic, I have a lot of rooms where I archived the certain separate things in my mind. I had to do that because in my angry phase, I would hold it and then get angry, and then all the doors would swing open, and I don't know what the hell I was angry about. So I learned how to compartmentalize that. It's not easy, but you figure it out. And while you're compartmentalizing the pain and dysfunction of your past, you're also purging. Like, why am I holding on to my sister throwing away my dolls? Why am I still angry with her when those dolls would have been in the garbage anyway? That didn't happen because I don't even think we had dolls back then. But I'm using that because those are things that take up a lot of space in our minds. What do you think, Laura? When you hold on to insect, well, I'm mad because when I was 6, I got a baby doll from my auntie, and my sister was so jealous she cut it up. How old are you now? I know they hurt. Things hurt. I'm using that as an example. If that happened to you and it wounded you deeply, then you know what? Let's inquire within and correct that, or with love, set it free, let it go. There's many ways to go through that. What I'm saying is there are certain things that take priority in your life. And it always, no matter if it's money, position, children, property, anything outside of yourself, doesn't amount to the value of your you. Because that's the only place where peace can reside, in your you. Everything else is outside. It's like that favorite bra that the strap broke. You gotta throw it out, right? We're just gonna take it to a seamstress, or you're gonna fix it yourself, however, whatever makes you happy. But when something no longer serves you, then you get rid of it. And that is your peace. It's simple stuff. You don't want it, put it out. You don't need it, pass it on. Those are the things. When you are constantly giving, then you will constantly receive. That's the balance of life. And what was one of the questions? What type of thread are you made from? Exactly. Like Tiffany, you're on a roll today, Tiffany.
I know she is on a roll today. Holding on to negative things from the past will not help you embrace your future. Let it go and have peace.
So true.
You know, the question we need to ask ourselves is, why aren't we letting it go? Like, when that example that Gladiator Guru used about the doll, it's not about the doll. Like, what is it that you're holding on to? Why do you feel that it serves you to hold on to it? And at what point do you just need to say, you know what, this isn't, like, you have to look at yourself from two different perspectives. You have to look at yourself on, like, almost on the outside. Like, if you're looking at yourself from, and you're another person. So you're saying to looking at this person going, this person is still holding on to the dolls that were thrown out. Like, what is going on here? And why is this so significant? What does it even matter anymore? And once you get past that piece of it, but you see what it's, you're speaking to yourself, you're speaking to your spirit, you're stopping and not looking on the outside source. You're looking from within. I mean, from the outside within.
That's the hardest job, anybody. It's easy. Good morning, Chanel. It is so easy.
You make it hard.
Because it's easy for us to sit and judge everybody because it makes people feel better. Or they'll say, oh, I'm not one to judge, but why would someone say something like that? Why would they do that? Well, why the hell are you judging? Why don't you ask, why are you worrying about why they're doing that? And that is you disrupting your peace to involve yourself in somewhere where you weren't invited. And if you think of it that way, and we're all guilty, we are all guilty. Or my whole walk through Portugal into Spain, and Iris, if you're on, you can confirm, was discernment. I am not going to judge. A lot of people didn't wear deodorant while I walked that walk. I am very anal with showering. I didn't see a lot of people showering. So I had to tell myself, because that is my way, because I'm anal with that, with my hygiene. And I had a conversation with the badass Buddha. And I believe that all goes not to my molestation phase, but when I was raped. So I'm always scrubbing my skin. I'm always, that's a very vulnerable state for me. So guess what? So I didn't want to judge the people who are very healthy and don't believe in deodorant. So that was my biggest word, discernment. I need to not judge, because we are all guilty of judging. We all come from a place that is wounded. We have been wounded in our lifetime. That's how we became these warriors we are today. But then again, ask yourself, what type of warrior are you? Are you Batman or are you Robin? Because we're all superheroes, because we have made it thus far. Childbearing, divorces, infidelities, loss of jobs, homelessness for a brief moment or longer. We've all been through it to get to where we are today. Everyone in the tribe that is on right now, the Badass Buddha and myself, we have been through traumatic events in our lives. We have ridden that wave of chaos, but yet here we are speaking, commenting, and listening to what is peace, and to say, I do have it. Let me practice it. That's what we hope to give you today. That aha moment that maybe you're going through something right now as we're speaking and you don't feel you have peace, but you do. So the only question I have, because I am my own super fucking hero. You know, I made shirts with that. I believe that. So which one do you want to be? And whichever one you're comfortable with is fine, but don't judge other people, because by judging other people, you are removing slices. It's like put the cheese in that cheese slice, that big block of cheese. And the more you judge, the more slices come off of your block. What's going to happen when you only have this much left? So
Tiffany says, I can speak for me when I say that I can't even remember when I held on to some of the things of my past. Learning to release negative magnets from my life is helping me emotionally, physically. Ooh, Tiffany, you know what? Tiffany's been kind of MIA. And I know why now, because she has been working on her spirit for sure. And she has come back as a sage. Like, she is really this philosophical element that has returned to us, Tiffany. Tiffany's gone on a pilgrimage of her own, a journey, it looks like. And this is fabulous, Tiffany.
It is very
so proud of you. So proud of you. This is wonderful.
Vicks.
I know. Yep, she put Vicks. You know, if we're judging, we're only using as a distraction from our own self.
The Band-Aid.
We don't want, it's not a Band-Aid. It's just, we don't want to deal with our shit. And that's
It's
the
our
bottom
Band-Aid.
line.
We
So it's
judge
like,
people to hide our own self-inflicted wounds.
if we don't face, like, and you have to, that's one way. If you want to bring peace, how do we bring peace within ourselves? When you catch yourself, first of all, the awareness, you catch yourself judging somebody else or looking at them, stop and be aware of it. Then ask yourself, why am I judging this individual? What am I distracting myself from? Why does it bother me if that person's hair is like green and shaved on one side, or they have tattoos all over themselves, or they have piercings everywhere? Like, why would that bother me? Why does it bother me if they are walking on the street in the middle of the day when, whatever your reasoning is, you have to stop and become aware of it, and then go within and just take a moment.
Just go within and say, stop, Margie, stop. And you know what? If you don't
if you're saying it, say, stop, Margie.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I'm true to me.
I'm going to say that when I do it.
And when I would say something in Europe, I'm like, oh, discernment. I judged. Why did I judge? And Iris would look at me like I was crazy because of the way I was correcting myself. Because you know what? I don't preach to do on this show unless I try to find it. And as humans, we're going to falter, but it's up to us to put us back on the road. But you know what? We're all guilty of it. So instead of blocking us, like, oh, I'm judging because I'm weak. No, say, why am I judging? Look in the mirror and say, you know what? You're beautiful. And it doesn't matter what happened. We're going to take care of it. And start speaking to yourself from a place of love. Because then that will fill up those empty spaces you have that you are filling up with negativity by judging or feeling inadequate. Because when we judge somebody, it's because we feel we can't match up to them. And let's call it what it is. When we judge somebody, it might be something we don't like, but then why are we taking the time out to judge somebody for doing something that we wouldn't do? Again, think. Their freedom of expression, their freedom of speech. Are you holding back? Like, don't look at it. Don't be hard on yourself either. Because if you're seeking peace, I'm going to plug my book in, Soul Searching for Peace. The intro is it love in which I seek? And it ends with, I am soul searching for peace. It is a journey you will have until the day you die, but it can be a paved road as opposed to a rocky one. Again, it's always what you want. You correct the negativity in you. Because guess what? You will be judged. People will be like, oh, she's full of shit.
So Iritza wrote, I'm really trying to get rid of old things. So I've been taking a picture of it and throwing it out. Maybe it's weird, but I'm getting rid of it. That's how I'm dealing with it. You don't have to explain. Good for you,
Why
Iritza.
is it weird?
It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just you're doing it. And it is what it is. The whole point is that when we are at peace within ourselves, we don't even feel the need to explain, because we don't need to another person, because we know why we're doing what we're doing and how we're feeling. And so when you get to that level, so like, for instance, I'm not going to, I don't want to bring this up, but if someone reaches out to you and then they ask you a question, because, like, let's say you haven't been around too often, and they ask you a question like, what's your problem? Where have you been? Like, why aren't you calling me back, or something like that? You don't really have to give them an answer, especially if it's just because you've been busy. You could, and you could say, well, I've just been, I'm sorry, I've just been so busy. And if they come back at you again and say, yeah, but I mean, you've been like out of there. I haven't talked to you. You haven't even bothered. It's not about you. It's about them. And well, I'm sorry that you felt that way. I mean, you could say that, or you could just say, well, I mean, I'm here right now. what's up?
Or call me back. And let me tell you, if that happens to you and you keep holding on to it and you keep repeating it, then you're the problem.
Yes.
Then you don't have peace because you're too busy trying to nitpick at someone else's issue.
Yes.
Don't nitpick at my issue. You know, finding peace is discovering all the uglies that you have inside and not replacing them, but accepting them. And then saying that was ugly back in the day. It doesn't matter. What matters is, you know what? That we had a great conversation yesterday. So she said that one of the questions was, what type of thread are you made of? What type of thread are you made of? Because that thread that you're sewn up, you're either going to repair it, because that's what life does. It gives you opportunity to grow. So if you're outgrowing that old skin of yours, what do? You either add new fabric, maybe a different color to pizzazz your life, or you change the whole dress. But what threads are you choosing that is not expanding with you?
Yes.
Okay, that's another thing. Like, so if you can say that, then if you know what kind of thread, you can put that, because the next question is, what is the strength of your tapestry? Like, a tapestry is beautiful for those. I love tapestries. I used to be concerned of what people felt. Yeah.
Now it's about time I think and feel about me. My piece is important, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Take your power back. We, at any given moment, at any time in our lives, we can take our power back. It's right there. It's like you're in a cage, but the door's unlocked, wide open, and your power is sitting right outside the door like this, right? Right in the middle. Like, all you gotta do is walk out and grab it. And what do, badass? We look at it dying of thirst, far in the far corner of the cell. And guess what? It's yours to take. And what's holding you back? Because when we take our power back, then comes responsibility to uphold that part of ourselves. And that's where the work comes in. And that's where a lot of people don't want to be bothered, because it's more comfortable falling back into that safety net of what they always were doing, which never opened any doors for them, but it was a comfort zone. And the more you try to better yourself, the more opposition you're going to come into with your family, your spouse, anybody who sees you trying to change for your better are going to criticize you. They're going to bully you. And it's up to you to be like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, but we'll talk when I come back. I got a meeting to go to. And that's what happens. And that's what we were talking about. And that story that the badass Buddha was saying, it happens to us every day. Like, people will text you and they'll leave you voicemails. And they make it about them. They don't make it about, how are you? Where are you right now? So if you see me scrolling on social media when I didn't return a call, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I need to empty some space in my head. So I'm going to look at shit that's insignificant to me that might make me laugh. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's that I'm healing in my way. Respect my whole being at that point, because my mind has to connect to my spirit that is pushing forward my body, and I have to tend to them separately so that they would work like one well-oiled machine that only I can do. You can't fix me because I am not broken. I am wounded, and let me tend to my wounds. And that way we heal. And by tending to your wounds, it's acknowledging the awesome goddess you are to yourselves.
The beauty of when you are at peace with yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. And you don't feel the need to have to explain yourself, but you also don't feel the need to be demanding an explanation of somebody else either. Like, in other words, I've got to tell you, I've done this myself, where I sent a text message to somebody and I didn't hear from them for a couple of days. And I got all like, what the hell? They don't want to talk to me.
Yeah. When
I stopped and I just said, maybe there's more to the conversation, or maybe there's more to this. Maybe they just didn't get the message. Maybe they got it and they couldn't respond, and then they forgot about it. And the interesting thing is, once I stopped and put my own shit out of it, took myself out of it and just stopped and let it be, I started to notice a pattern with certain people that I know. And there's some that just do not get back to me right away. There's some that never get back to me. And then they'll get back to me finally and be like, or they'll get back to me through like Messenger, not text message. And I don't, and they'll always say, yeah, I did get the message. I'm sorry. They might make an excuse. They might not, they might say, I don't always check my messages. And then and I started to just let that go. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm sure they got it. Unless it was something that I absolutely needed them to know, then I would send them a couple messages, but I wouldn't be rude about it. I wouldn't be like, I've sent you so many messages and you're not calling me. I would say it's more like, hey, listen, I've sent you a few messages because I got to tell you something. Just at least let me know you got it. Like, I don't need you to tell me what the reason is, because I've worked on that part of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've looked at it and said, life is life. There's a lot of, and you know what, honestly, if somebody decided they didn't want to message me because they just didn't like me all of a sudden, they were pissed off at me, then okay. Do I have to know why it is? If they want to tell me, that's fine. But if they're doing that bullshit, well, I'm mad at, I've been very angry at you. And then I say, oh, okay. About what? What is it? Oh, okay. I guess I don't, but
this,
all right.
I'm glad you said that, because this goes back into when you're seeking peace. Remember, we are in a spiritual warfare. We're living in a times of uncertainty. Look at the news. This is shit that's going on that you're like, this is demonic. Wake up. I don't care what religion you are. I'm spiritual. We are like, spiritual warfare has always happened since the beginning of time, from the angels and the demons and Middle Earth, where we are, right? But whether you believe it or not, there are realms. We can cross realms, but sometimes there's parallel worlds to us. Believe it or not, I don't care. But we are in a spiritual warfare. How else would a man order a sandwich and shoot the person because they put too much mayonnaise? That is not of this world. There's too many people attacking one another for no apparent reason. Yes. When somebody says, why haven't you text me back? We all feel that way because we're taking the time to text someone. So, of course, you're right to say, oh, my God, I text somebody a week ago and they haven't texted me back. It takes but a minute. That's showing respect. Text. We're all guilty of doing it. We all get caught up in our feelings. When we're spiritually healing, there's no apologies to be made. But when you're spiritually healing and you're in this phase, then you get back to the person. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. Acknowledge it.
Yes.
But I mean, honor yourself and keep your spirit aligned with yourself, because the next question of your tapestry is your soul shield adjusted correctly? Your soul, are you protecting everything about you? And that is loving yourself, trusting yourself, keeping your power to say no, yes, I don't know, and your peace in balance. That is your soul shield. Are you giving it away and then getting mad and talking shit? Or are you simply saying, no, I don't want to go to the beach today. Why? Because I don't like the beach. Why would you invite me to then get upset because I don't want to go? Keep it real. People know I don't like the beach. Don't invite me because I'm not going to go. And then if you ask me why, I'm going to tell you just that. So.
Oh, but wait, let me interrupt you. Along those lines too, you can't get upset with somebody if they don't invite you. So like, if they know you don't like the beach and they don't invite you, and then you go, so you guys went out today and you didn't invite me?
But again, what type of person
you don't like the beach? We didn't invite you because you don't like the beach. So you got to go both ways. You have to say, you can't get upset if somebody invites you to a place you don't like, then get mad at them for not inviting you, just so that you could say, no, I don't like the beach.
I hate people like that. And I have them close in my family. I don't like that. You know you're not gonna go, but why do you need validation so somebody could take their time and invite you when when you drew the line and say, I don't like the beach. I don't like the sun glaring down on me. I don't like going to the beach with the crowds or whatever. When you put that out there, right? And now they all went to the beach, but they didn't invite you. Well, I just wanted it just would have been nice. Why? This is what I tell my family members. Why? If you're gonna say no, well, just because nothing, because you're just looking for a reason
That's
to be pissed
correct.
off, and you're
That
not
is
bothering
proof
me.
positive you are not at peace. That's proof positive that you are not
Yeah,
at peace.
you're not at peace, and your insecurities are wiling out of control because you're looking for a fight over something you would have not done. Why would I invite someone? Why would I even, let's say Milagros. Love Milagros. She don't drink coffee. I'm gonna make a special blend of tea just for Milagros. I'm not gonna impose on it. But you know what? I know people like that. Thank you for bringing that up. So check yourself if you're like that. If you don't like something and you kept it real to yourself and made it a point to share with your family and friends that you don't like that, then do not get out of character when they went and now you're feeling some type of way because they didn't text you, call you, or knock on your door and say, hey, we're going to the beach. I know you don't really like the beach. You said it many times, but just in cases, nobody got time for that. Tighten up.
The other thing too is what brings you peace. If you haven't done this already, please this week, today, tomorrow, whatever, make a list of the things that calm you, that make you feel love and just connected to your higher power, to the ground, to the earth, to the world. It's funny, as you're talking, I have these, remember these things I showed you? They're rocks. They look like hearts. I literally got them from a Newport, Rhode Island, like you find them. And Gladiator Guru took this one with her to the Camino, right? She walked with it. These are the smoothest things too. And I'm just sitting here rubbing it. I love rocks. Like there's something about rocks. I absolutely, whenever I'm gardening and I'm moving something and doing something, I will always collect the rocks and then I will use them in some sort of display. And I love the smoothness, especially. You know what brings me peace? It rubbing the rock, sitting there. And if I'm sitting somewhere, if I see a rock that's smooth, like river rock, I will grab it and like hold on to it. And it's funny, it sounds funny to say that, but that works for me. But I have a whole list. I know exactly what brings me peace. But I'm going to tell you this, that the best peace, the best way to connect with your spirit truly is by being quiet, by sitting still, being quiet in a space by yourself with no distraction of technology, of music. You can have music in the background, like if you're sitting somewhere and somebody's playing music. But what I mean is that sometimes people feel the need, they always have to have the earbuds in and they always have to be listening to something and they always have to be. Try sitting down quietly, not speaking, for 20 minutes every day. Eyes closed, eyes open. I don't care. Find a beautiful spot, whatever. But it has to be something that you feel comfortable with. So let's say you are a people person and you like them all and it's the air conditioning is great and you just like to sit there and people watch. If that brings you peace, then do it.
I
You
love it.
don't have to worry about what other people think, because other people, oh no, you need to be sitting out in nature. If that does not work for you, then don't do it. But make a list. Sometimes I do like to sit in a mall and people watch because I do enjoy observing people, the good and the bad. That is not my normal go-to. But if I'm at the mall and I have a moment to myself, that's what I will do. I will always I will always find peace, space for peace, no matter where I go or what I do. But my absolute favorite is sitting outside quietly in nature, sometimes in the morning with my cup of coffee, but sometimes throughout the day, just sitting there but it's like I'm by myself a lot. It's quiet. I'm not speaking. I'm not listening to anything. But that is, and I do this a lot, and I do this a lot more than I did because I lost my peace last year. And my spirit was very broken last year. But you have to do the work, and you have to be accountable to yourself. You cannot look to other people for your peace. You're not going to find it. And then all you're going to do is get very angry because they're not providing it for you when it was never theirs to provide to you. You have to, all you can do is just get the information, maybe from that individual, like we're speaking today, then sit with it and to just think about not just think about, but feel about what brings you peace. What works for you, and why. And also ask yourself the question is, why do I feel the need to go to other people or other things to seek this? What am I missing within myself? What am I not dealing with? What do I have to let go of? And the more you do that, and the more questions you ask yourself and sit with yourself, don't be afraid for the answer. Don't be afraid to hear the voice, because that voice that's within you is a direct connection to the voice above.
To God. For me,
right.
It's God. And I think, you know what? And if you don't trust yourself enough to ask those questions, then you know what? Trust yourself enough to just sit down and smile at people. And when you hold the door open for somebody because you're walking out somewhere and they don't say thank you, fine, they don't need to say thank you, except that you chose to show kindness by holding a door open. Because let me tell you one thing that's going to rob you of your peace: expectations. So don't even expect too much from yourself while you're journeying towards your peace. Take it day by day. But you know what, Milagros? No, yo dije que yo te respeto porque sé que usted no bebe café, so yo voy a inventar un té especialmente para ti. Eso es lo que dije. You know, when I always people watch. It brings me such a tingly feeling. It brings me a calmness, and peace is always followed. And I would sit throughout Portugal and in Spain, especially in Santiago. I would choose to sit and people watch, like from a distance. And that was exactly what made my stay always, the first time, the second time, is the people watching. And if you feel uncomfortable people watching, start with looking in the mirror at home. People watch yourself. Smile. Do you even know how the corners of your lips curve? Have you seen how your eyes squint? Like today, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, doo-doo-doo-doo. And then I notice my eyelids, like the Ramirez, are falling over. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be 50.
Yeah, we all get that.
Right. But you know what? The twins still look beautiful, and I'm heading into 54. So, you know, but you can't have it all. I was getting my eyebrows done like 4 years ago. And I said, one arches and one doesn't. And the girl's like, you know, I have to remind this to all my clients and take note. She said, your eyebrows, like your breasts, like your legs, like your hands, like everything that comes in pairs on your body are sisters, but they're not twins. Yeah, and that's how you got to look at it. You are related spiritually to every person you come into contact with. But it doesn't mean they got to mirror who you are, nor do you mirror who they are. You know what? Walk in a happy space of loving who you are. Damaged, repairing, rebirthing. It doesn't matter what stage you're in. What matters is that you are working on bettering the you that you were born to be. That is where you take your power back, and that is where you find a peace that levels out your spirit. Because Lori's peace is not my peace.
That's right.
So, and I'm not going to mirror her actions to find my peace until I've discovered what my peace is, and then I can add to my repertoire, and then I can release from my armoire things that are taking up space. And that's how you discover and love your you while living in the peace or the journey towards peace. But you have to really identify who you are. Love yourself so much in the inside that when your tits start to sag, you're going to either say, oof, they've served their purpose. Little things like that. When your waist starts to get thick, just remember, look at old pictures. Maya Angelou looked beautiful in her early 20s. I have a picture of her with this. She just looks so tall and slender in this white turtleneck and this like printed white and black skirt. One of my favorite ones. But Maya Angelou was still happy. She still had tremendous self love, self honor, self trust that she can stand up on any platform and speak her truth and it would resonate with the masses. So, for every season, we have a reason to look and act the way we did, as long as we do it in love for self. And for every year you grow older, your thighs are going to get thicker. Your waist is going to get thicker. You might have a little double chin. Or like my family tree, the Ramirez, that the eyelids want to come over your eyes and then mascara gets all over the place. But you know what? I survived. And I'm in love with myself. Love, and I honor myself for surviving, for saying, hey Lord, let's do Viva Cafe con Leche, and let's bind with these women and let's share our sadness and our pain and our triumphs. And then we can all say together we are a tribe of peace and self-love. And then what we do with that, we start reaching out to people around us by sharing and spreading kindness and being grateful that we have met them at their level. That's how we get discernment. So we got to keep talking about peace. Because when you sit in your peace, you lead by example in this uncertain world. And by living intentionally, spreading kindness and gratitude, you also reap the rewards that you are gifting the person in front of you. To give and take, give and take. Okay, badass.
I just really want to acknowledge, especially like, so Tiffany's really been just throwing out some fabulous, fabulous stuff. Desiree, we have missed you too.
Yes, we
Thank you
spoke
for being
about you
here.
the other day. Like, where the hell is
Yeah,
Desiree?
we were. We actually, yeah. Yuditsa, so we're gonna throw out some love bombs here. So Yuditsa, I was looking at your post. Yuditsa, you look fabulous. You
She
look
does.
happy. You're just the cutest thing ever. Like, and I, again, it's not just about the outside, but really who we are on the inside does come out on the outside. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite movies, comedies, is Shallow Hal, because I love the idea of that movie where he would see the people as they were, and some there was a few people that matched. They were just as nice looking on the outside as they were on the inside. And it was just, to me, it was but you saw so many of the opposites, right? So if you want to just be reminded of what it means to be able to see within, to see the spirit, that's a really actually a cute version of it.
Yes, I love
um,
that movie.
let's see, but oh my god, where is it? Hold on, I want to put it on. Tiffany, really, like, this is, you have really just done so well for yourself. We know where you were in the beginning, and you've been very vocal about it, and we're very proud of you. Like, you've taken your circumstances and your situation, and you've made peace with it. That's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you make peace within yourself and make peace with your situation, then things shift for you. And that's just the way it works. Instead of us resisting all the time, when we just let go and make peace with it, that is when the real thing that's when the real shift happens. And that's so foreign to us. We're taught to fight for everything, when sometimes we just have to. It's not saying we don't have to fight for certain things, but for most of what we need in our life, we have to just sit and connect with the peace, and then open ourselves up for things to happen.
And
And
do
so,
what And my favorite dad quote, nunca te engañes. Stop lying to yourself that you have a reason to criticize and to judge because that person just got you upset. No. If you stop that lie, then you are deserving of the outcomes. But Tiffany said that she meditates by just closing her eyes. But she said, I didn't say, I wanted to read it. And
Sorry.
she listens to the birds sing.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, because I was asked yesterday, how do you meditate? I don't know how to meditate. So get in tune with yourself. I love rain, thunderstorms, sand, and the ocean. Early morning meditations for me is just sitting with my eyes closed and listening to the birds sing. Now I started the journey to a better me, and 50 pounds later, I'm real like, that's wonderful. That's what I need to lose is 50 pounds. But you know,
right.
thank you, Badass, for bringing that back up. So you know what, when I was asked that, and I said, you know what, everybody meditates different, and that's how you also bring your peace. Everybody meditates different, but you know what, discover who you are. You're gonna have to try many different meditations until you find the one that works for you, but that is you learning you. And wow, what better job to learn, what better activity to learn, what better celebrity for you to learn all about. Stop Googling other people and Google yourself.
Yep. I agree.
I'm sorry, and you put something else up. Did someone else say something? This is, you know what, this is wonderful because um it's happening to mommy. Her eyelids are dropping. Yeah. Thanks, Chanel.
No, I just put up the good mornings and the happy, and this is again, your peace. You have, sometimes we really don't understand. I know I didn't last year, how valuable. The most important thing you can do for yourself is honor yourself and honor your peace. And if we do not take the time for it now, we will pay the price dearly. And I'm not saying it to threaten you, and I'm not saying it to make you worried. We are in a, like, we were going to talk about this a little bit today, but I think we're probably going to have a separate show on this. We are in spiritual warfare right now.
Definitely.
The only way to protect yourself is to go inward and work on yourself so that these outside sources will not be able to penetrate you and take you over. And I know it sounds kind of wacky and paranoid or whatever, but that is the reality that we are in right now. And if you are not feeling it on an energetic level, if you are feeling some sort of way, if you are not even taking out the media that you're watching, if you keep feeling this uneasiness within you, that you feel very overwhelmed and you feel like you don't know why you're all of a sudden in a really bad mood when nothing really triggered you, or you're really sad all of a sudden, this is the energetic collection telling you that you need to stop and you need to work on yourself, because something is coming. It's here, but it's coming closer to you. And the only way we're going to get through this is to take care of ourselves and then energetically connect with each other and take care of each other. But we can't hold your spirit. You have to hold your own spirit, and then we connect hands and hold our spirits.
Well, your spirit is, remember, you know, these new world American Western empaths call it energy. You know, growing up, Chanel, the way we did, we call it a vibe. Tiffany, I'm sure you could. Spirit is since the beginning of time. So everything the Buddha said is correct. And for those of you that are connected spiritually to what's happening, then you can feel that. You can feel that uneasiness, that something's going on, but I can't detect it type of thing. It's like something's whispering to your spirit to put that armor on every morning. You know, I call that faith. I don't care if you're a Christian, what religion you are, what church you go to every Sunday. I don't go to a closed up temple with minimal windows. I talk to God everywhere I stand. Outside in nature, ground yourself, become one with nature. You know, like when you walk barefoot somewhere, when you hug a tree, when you say, Thank you for this new day, Father God, or whatever it is that you pray to that higher power, whatever name that you give the universe and God. The thing is, connect with something bigger than you to enforce that shield, that armor, that spirit rising within so that you can face the spiritual warfare. Remember, low vibrations means you have lack of self-trust and low self-esteem. And that with the spiritual warfare, those demons are just waiting, or that negative energy is just waiting to fill you up with negativity. So, finding your peace is finding your place. And at the end of the day, it's your choice. But what I'm saying, when you're powerful, when you're here, when you're open to listen to what God and the universe has provided, think of yourself as a chosen one. So now it's up to you to adjust that shield, put that armor on every morning, and set out into the world in peace, but protection. And I think that's it. I think come see about us on Thursday. I don't know what the badass is doing. I think she's bowing as I'm speaking. Namaste. She was ignoring what I was saying, but
no, I wasn't.
I'm messing with you.
Thursday, we don't know what's going on for Thursday yet, so we'll see. Well,
but the title's perfect.
It's called Holy Water and Hellfire. We know that. Whether we have a guest or not, we'll see. That'll be seen shortly. But you know us, we just go with the flow, and it'll be a great conversation because it's going to be a necessary conversation, continuation of this one. Right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And, we can't speak enough about it, and we're all human, so we're going to fall short. We're going to lose our temper over stupid stuff. But you know what? Just check yourself. I do it all the time. I do it out in a voice that can penetrate into my ears again. I can be in a store in line waiting to pay because nobody faces me, because I am my priority. My body, mind, and spirit are my priority. And that's why in the transition of needing to lose weight, I am going to love my body with all of her imperfections in my now, because she has carried me through all of my trauma. My body has never let me down, and that brings me peace. Because I am here to tell the story. I am here to speak in my Italian way with my hands. So I'm loving this body. So I'll stand in line somewhere and I'm like, Margie, stop. Margie, what were you thinking? Or I'll crack up. I just laugh because I thought of something that I did. Because I am my entertainment. I am my biggest love affair. I am my nurse. I am my therapist. I am that comedian that you pay top dollar to come watch, and I show up for myself every day. And even when I don't fucked up, I'd be like, oh, I'm not looking in the mirror right now until I get right with myself. I have these conversations with myself, and I love it. Why? Because I have learned to love me and all my imperfected, perfect states and flaws and everything. And you know what? I am what makes me. Be who you are. Own it. Love it. And then teach others to do the same towards you. And that, my friend, comes with peace. We went over. And for those 8 people on, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming on, and we are going to call it a day. Enjoy yourselves, set your intention, say your mantra again, make your list of what brings you peace, and sit with yourself today. So we will see you on Thursday. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from La Margarita, your gladiator guru, breathe in the beauty. And breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.